Hey y'all, welcome to the Medicinal Melange podcast. I'm Elizabeth, clinical herbalist and medical astrologer. And if you've been spinning your wheels with the same patterns, the same symptoms, or just the same stuck feeling, this podcast is where that stops. Because your body is trying to tell you something. Your birth chart already holds the map to what's going on. And you don't need another surface level wellness trend. You need an actual map to your healing, and most importantly, back to yourself. Every episode here is designed to help you see what's been running the show underneath and give you the tools to break it, to reroute it, and to finally just move forward. So let's get into it. This week, we are continuing with the same theme of the season, looking at each zodiac sign and talking about the physical, emotional traits, best herbs, the food to increase your vitality, and the workouts that will help you align with your goals, but not contradict this inner rhythm that you naturally have. Like my other episodes, let's start with the astrology forecast for what's coming this week and why your body might be trying to steer you in a different direction. So, looking at the astrology and my astrology notes for this week, today is August 1st, so it is Lammas, which is kind of like a checkpoint between summer and fall. My favorite part is that with Lammas, it is a time to check in with your friends, to take note of what you do have and be grateful for that instead of complaining about all the shit you don't have. This is the perfect time to go out into your garden and to harvest those fruits and vegetables, because you always want to pick fruits and vegetables during the fire signs because they will be sweeter, they'll be juicier, the energy is stored in those vegetables. So it's a great time to do a little mundane magic and pick your fruit and vegetables during this. And since this is technically the first harvest, if we're looking at the wheel of the year and the calendar, we do tend to make a point to invite your neighbors, invite your friends over. If you're like me and your family is your friends, that's okay too. This is where we want to break bread for the first time of this harvest season. On August 2nd, this is a very electric day for emotions because we have a tug of war between the moon and Uranus. This is a great day to lean into herbs that are going to soothe your nervous system and also your muscles. Skullcap is my go-to. I have it in my sauna tea. It relaxes the tension in the muscles, either from stress or just because you have shooting pains throughout them. Also, nervines are going to be great. Passion flower, which is in my tranquillium tincture. If you use green milky oats or oat straws in general, whether it's dried or it's fresh, those are going to have two different benefits. However, both are so good at helping you relax your nervous system. On the 3rd of August, we have the sun in Leo. And then we also have the moon entering Sagittarius. Both of these are fire signs. So if you are a fire sign, especially if you're a fire sign right in the middle, go ahead and make solar water on this day. Meaning, take a big old jug, the largest jug you have, a mason jar or a large cup of water, totally okay, or a bowl. Cover the top if you can, so that way the little buggies don't get in there. You're going to put the water outside. That's literally all we're doing. It is not difficult. But when you collect that fire energy and you are a fire sign, it is going to help your body with healing properties. When you take it inside, go ahead and pour that into ice cube trays and freeze it. So that way, when you go, let's say in the middle of winter and you feel like shit and you kind of feel like you got a flu and you need some miraculous healing, you pop a couple ice cubes from your solar water that you make on the 3rd, and it will help with that healing. It will help manifest the energy to revitalize your body and remind your body of today, August 3rd, which is when you are at your strongest point. Continuing on to the 5th, the moon is going to be entering Capricorn. And for me, I love this. I love this for us. However, anytime we have a Saturn ruled sign, it tends to be a little bit restrictive. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's also squaring Saturn, which is transiting in Aries right now. That can look like being restrictive because it's Saturn, slowing down your liver, drying out your skin. This is very on brand for the moon in Capricorn. Maybe your emotions feel a little bit more reserved, and so you're easily frustrated. Your liver is a little bit more restrictive. That's going to increase headaches and allergies. Your joints are a little stiffer on this day. So be easy on your body, be easy on your emotions. It will pass. Just give it a couple days. But in the meantime, you can reach for agarita root, which I have in my Vomir tincture. This helps your liver not look like Swiss cheese. It helps your kidneys function the way they're supposed to. Goldenrod is going to be really good at drying out the allergies if you have that nasty drip. Burdock root is another fantastic herb. Burdock root really is a wonder healer, specifically for the GI, for the liver, the kidneys. It secretes this oil that naturally lubricates these systems. That way things start to move a little easier. If you have joint pain, I do have my sauna tea. It helps with the inflammation throughout your body, but specifically to your joints. Also, if you need help with joint health or bone health, my Aphrodite tea is not only cooling during Leo season, and it's red because it's a hibiscus tea, so it is going to cool but also restore that vitality during Leo season. And it has horsetail, which is going to increase the amount of calcium and keratin that your body can absorb as you get it naturally through your diet. On the 6th of August, Mars moves into Libra. I absolutely am excited for this because as a Virgo sun, my stomach's been really upset lately with Mars being in there. But this kind of gives our stomach a break for the collective. But now we're talking adrenals. We're talking maxing out our capacity because we want to do everything for everyone. And yeah, that's not going to work like that. So Mars is in Libra and it's opposing Saturn and Neptune, which are retrograde in Aries right now. So the kidneys can't catch a break. Your love life can't catch a break. Those harmonious conversations can't catch a break because there's this tug of war between this very restrictive and retrograde Saturn and Neptune, kind of making things fuzzy. They say they like you, but then their actions aren't meeting their words, and it's very confusing to you. And it's in this tug of war with Mars in Libra, which Mars does not like to be there. So we just can't catch a break. Be easy with yourself as we move through this. I mean, we're just barely entering into it, but thankfully Mars moves a little quicker than other planets. On the 7th, we have the moon entering Aquarius, and per usual, anytime the moon's in Aquarius, I say avoid tattoos, but especially since November because Pluto is now in Aquarius. And anytime you have the moon conjunct Pluto, it's like a chance for increased infections. So if you can avoid getting shots this day, getting tattoos this day, anything having to do with needles because we have Pluto in Aquarius, definitely avoid on this day. And remember, it's just a couple of days and then the moon will be out of that sign and we'll be a little bit better. Now that we're fully prepared for the things ahead and that we need to kind of check our emotional outrage that we may have, let's talk about Libra. And not just TikTok traits, but as a psychological mindset itself, because that's where Libra kind of leaks their energy and their own vitality is in their brain because they pause to think. If you think of a pendulum swinging from Aries through Virgo, when it gets to Libra, it's a pause point before it makes the full circle around the chart. I'm very Virgo, but my Sun and Mercury are at the exact same degree, 29 degrees. Typically, this is referred to as a cusp because, yes, I have very Virgo traits, but I also have a lot of Libra traits as well. I was going through renaming and reinforcing my boundaries after significant trauma that I talked about in the Say It With Your Chest episode. So if you would like to go back and listen to that after this, I definitely recommend it. So there I was making my boundaries known, and I read this book called Fair Play. And as I was reading it, I felt like it was a great book for everyone, but especially Libra types, or if you have your sun in the 11th house, because you tend to people please, both Libra and sun's in the 11th. That's because the mindset around harmonizing for Libra is so important. This book, Fair Play, reminds us that there's a lot of emotional labor we find ourselves doing, or at least that I was doing, and it helps create new boundaries that are not only fair, but feel safe. So that way you can live a better life because you're done carrying everybody else's shit. From a medical astrology perspective, Libra governs the acid alkaline balance, the kidneys, lower back, hormonal balancing, and adrenals as well. However, again, I cannot stress enough, the vitality of Libra lies in the way you interact with others. For example, if I have a Libra sun, I'll ask them how they're feeling. And then if they're there with a partner, because they normally bring a friend with them to the readings, before they even answer, they turn to them and go, I feel like I'm doing okay. And then they'll kind of look at the person they bring. Why? Well, first, because the Libra type is great at interviewing people, but also because they're looking for confirmation and validation in their own feelings. And it kind of makes me giggle a little inside because it's no shade, it's just how y'all are. You love spending your life with others. And again, I can't be mad at that. I love that too. So if you're constantly swinging between showing up fully for others, not in a I do the hard work way because Libra hates hard work, but in the I show up emotionally for others, and then you're quietly collapsing on your own needs, then this episode is definitely for you, whether you're a Libra type or not. Personally, I can spot a Libra by looking for that signature 5 head. Okay, technically we refer to it as a forehead, but y'all have a lot of forehead and it's flat. But before we think this is a dig, oh my God, she's so mean. Remember, I'm a cusp sign, and I definitely have a larger head for more brain power, obviously. I once read that Libras look like owls, and I thought that was so fucked up because my mom and brother are Libras. And also, I'm a cusp, and I definitely don't think we're out here looking like the owl in the tree. They'll also have a smaller nose, and at the top of the lip will be a beautiful deep V cupid bow lip. Libras are known to have a very oval shaped face, but sometimes you'll find a Libra with a little bit more of a round shape and soft chin. This is going to be a more Venusian type. And with that soft chin, the more they age, the more it looks like they have a double chin. And it's just because that chin is really soft. Speaking of soft, they have very soft hair. Soft hair, soft voices, and very long and slender feet and hands. Libra types tend to look very composed and on top of their shit. But the back tells the real story because while they're trying to harmonize and carry the emotional weight of the people around them, or if they are liars, go check my Say It With Your Chest episode. But if they are liars, they are carrying the weight of those lies on their back. And so they're known to manifest the stress of harmonizing and putting on that harmonized face as a dull ache in their lower spine after a very stressful conversation. Maybe they get a pain in their lower back. This is the Libra types. This is what manifests for y'all. That's definitely your nervous system sending a white flag. Like, you weren't meant to carry everyone else's emotions. We got to find the equilibrium inside. Radiate, radiate. Now, how do we help balance this discombobulated sign that is supposed to be so harmonious? Well, we look to herbs. Duh, I'm an herbalist. When Libra is out of balance, it shows up as tired, but you're like wired. Your adrenals are depleted, but you are overstimulated. A lot of times that's because y'all are also sugar addicts, or at least you were growing up. Libras growing up can eat whatever they want, but they do tend to pay the price later on. Libras are known for water retention and a little bit of bloat because the kidneys are taxed and the lymph nodes become a little bit more sluggish. Like I said, that can also manifest in the body as lower back tension because of the emotional pressure that is stored physically in the body, and also decision fatigue. Y'all take peacekeeping to the next level, and it's exhausting for you. So there's this fatigue that naturally comes with feeling like you have to make all the decisions for everyone. To help balance that, I definitely recommend nettle leaf first and foremost. It's great for strengthening the kidney functions. I know a lot of people take water pills, to like help with the kidney functions and get the water weight off. And when you take water pills, typically they will tell you to also take potassium pills because water pills kill potassium. However, nettle leaf replenishes your minerals and rebuilds from the burnout. Not only is nettle leaf replenishing the minerals, it's actually increasing potassium in your body naturally. Skullcap is also a great herb for the Libra type because your lower backs are killing you. Straight up. It's just where it is. That lower back tension that is deep into the muscle can be alleviated with skullcap. Skullcap releases the tension in the spine, calms your racing mind, really takes your whole body out of overdrive. So adaptogenic herbs are great for your adrenals because it reminds them that they're not under siege anymore. I love the flavor of Tulsi. I have it in my Hecate tea, but really any adaptogen is going to help restore the emotional resilience without numbing you out. Ashwagandha is another one. Ashwagandha is great at helping the pituitary adrenal axis and potentially helps with cortisol levels. I mean, I have to say potentially because even though I've seen it firsthand, we live in America, and if the FDA can't make a buck on it, I technically can't say it. So do your research. I put it in my cortisol relieving blend that I have called Patraire. It is so amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend. Schisandra berries are a favorite of mine for the Libra type. One, we have this beautiful Venusian color of the berries, but it also helps regulate your fluids, supports your kidneys, and builds inner stamina. This is perfect for the Libra types that are all, I'm fine, when you're clearly not. Licorice root is a very protective herb for the liver and kidneys. Plus, it gives your adrenals a gentle cortisol nudge if you're completely tapped out. Bonus points, by the way, it helps with PCOS too. I make a tea called Rhesus that is so soothing to the body, and it's also a great tea for supporting the body against inflammation, adrenal fatigue, lowering the weight gain because of stress and cortisol spikes. But energetically as well, it heals your inner child, that part of you that stays silent because you are a Libra type and you're not going to openly share how you feel in order to keep the peace. It heals that energy internally so that way when you're ready to speak your piece, licorice root also helps soothe the throat. And for what it's worth, this goes for all of my teas. Don't just sip it, receive it. Libra types are known for keeping the calm while their insides are screaming. Let your ritual be real in that moment. Put away the phone, put away the to-do list that you got from your Capricorn friend. Just you, the herbs in front of you, and the moment where nothing else is required. On my website, all of my teas that I list have a statement of gratitude and an affirmation that you can recite during your 10 minutes of ritual self-care, aka making tea for the day. As far as finding the perfect meal plan or eating habits for Libra, the Libra type has a couple goals. The acid alkaline balance is very important for everybody, but especially if you have a vaginal canal, having a balanced pH, I feel like is way underrated. Like eating to nourish that body area is so important. Another goal as we're thinking about the best foods for the Libra type, we want to be easy on the kidneys. We want to soothe the adrenal glands. We want to support this natural hydration and hormonal balance within our body. The eating habits itself as well need to stabilize your system. Think of hydration, but with minerals. Go ahead and get whatever you think good salt is. Salt, lemon, trace minerals, put them in your water. I personally like Celtic salt, but I do have friends that buy really fancy stuff. So do your research yourself here, like figure it out what's best for you. Also, fun fact, while I was taking a salt sommelier course when I was like in my 20s, I had Jurassic sea salt and it was divine. And if I could get my hands on that to put a couple crystals in my water every day, I totally would. Anyway, adding these trace minerals are really important for the Libra type because it's not that y'all are just dehydrated, you're also fully depleted. Skipping meals or going too long without food, whatever that means for you, spikes your cortisol because your body is on alert saying, oh shit, I don't know when my next meal is. Keep your blood sugar soft and stable by eating small meals often. Cooling foods are very good for the Libra type. Y'all are an air sign after all. Cucumber, watermelon, mint, coconut water, blueberries. These are a summer staple for me. I prep them early in the week so I can just take them out of the fridge and graze a little bit as we go through. And I'm not having to worry about cutting up a whole watermelon in the middle of my day. Cooked greens, especially dandelion or kale, chard, any of these, they really support the kidneys and the liver. Going back to the little sweet tooth of the Libra types, I am going to recommend lower caffeine and less sugar because we don't want to burn out when we're already so busy grounding everybody else and maybe ungrounded ourselves. When we put all of these together, it can look like waking up, having some lemon water. Maybe you're doing a tea that has nettle, so a nice infusion of nettle. For me, my Lympha tea has nettle. If you literally type nettle into the search bar on my website, it'll have every offering that I have that has nettle. By the time you get to midday, I would definitely recommend a quinoa bowl, maybe some grilled veggies, avocado, tahini. Honestly, that sounds incredible, and I might have that for lunch today. At night, think about baked sweet potato. This is so good for your protein. Saute some greens, put a little miso dressing on top of it. It'll be delish. If you're looking for a snack and you're a Libra type, go ahead and soak chia seeds into pudding. I make a high protein version of this that's to die for. So let me know in the comments or email Elizabeth at themedicinalmelange.com if you'd like the recipe. Other options are like celery and peanut butter or almond butter, depending on what your preference is. Cucumber slices. I like them plain, but since we're talking about trace minerals, go ahead and put some salt on top. After you're done prepping, let's talk about the best workouts for the Libra type. So we have been talking about that lower back pressure because that is our most physical manifestation of imbalance within the Libra types aside from adrenal fatigue. So core stability, that way the lower back doesn't carry the weight of the world, is really important. Pilates, whether it's on the mat or the reformer, are really helpful. This is a nervous system regulation that's designed as a workout. It builds the small stabilizing muscles in the hips and the spine, which is the exact place that Libra types tend to hold the tension. It also makes you feel strong and elegant without the burnout. When we're thinking about storing in the hips and the spine, even just getting down in child's pose and opening up those hips are going to be so important. Another option that I like is bar. This is structure and softness all in one because it tones the body without spiking cortisol and focuses on precision. Bar is perfect for the Libra type because it reminds the body that you don't have to sweat your way towards peace. You can carve it in with control and breath and slowness. For what it's worth, Libra is the sign of connection and mirroring, so walking in silence can definitely clear your energy. A walk with someone safe can bring you back into your body through presence and rhythm. And since Libra is ruled by Venus, you don't want just movement. You want movement that feels like art. If you haven't heard my full list of other Venus ruled workouts, head to the Taurus episode where you can listen to more. All I know is for the Libra type, what we're not going to do is high impact training that leaves you very shaky. Boot camps would suck because they yell at your nervous system the whole time. Any workout that tells you to push when your kidneys are already tired, we're not doing that. We don't necessarily want intensity. We want this rhythm. We want to think of Venus. We want precision and rhythm because we don't want to fight your body to find balance. The body is the balance. It just wants you to meet it in there. And before we pull our final card and say goodbye for this week, I want to remind you that I will be on vacation for the next 3 weeks. And yeah, I'm really stoked. I get to go out to Southern California. If you are in that area and you would like a reading, or if you have a event or a space and you're like, hell yeah, come out, let's do medical astrology readings, let's do mediumship and astrology readings, whatever it is, email Elizabeth at themedicinalmelange.com and we will try to coordinate the best fit for your event and my schedule. Also, this week, per usual, medical astrology readings and astrology and mediumship readings are available virtually. It's so much info sometimes that it's almost worth doing it virtually because you get to keep the recording of our time together to reference back to write down dates. I do try to teach you a lot about yourself in that moment. If you would prefer in person, I have 2 events this weekend. Saturday, I will be in Austin, Texas at City Alchemist on the east side from 3 to 7 p.m. offering in-person astrology readings. That's medical, predictive, love, breaking old habits, you name it, I got you. On Sunday the 3rd, I am at Deja Vu Esoterica in San Antonio, Texas. Y'all know this is my weekly offering that I have every Sunday. I'll be on vacation most of the month, so come grab a reading this weekend because I won't be back until like the end of the month, almost Labor Day weekend. I will say last week I stayed an extra 3 hours taking walk-ins because I was almost done with my day and then I had all these walk-ins, and I appreciate y'all willing to wait because I will stick around and read for you. So definitely don't be afraid to do walk-ins on Sundays at Deja Vu. Okay, so let's pull that card. Today, I'm going to be using the Venice Witch Oracle, which is a gorgeous oracle deck that I got from Silver Moon Curios in Georgetown. I will be there on the 30th of August at the very end of the month. So if you're in that area, you can pre-book that now. But the card that I pulled for today is Paradise. And you know you got a good deck when you've never used a guidebook. When I look at Paradise, I'm thinking about this beautiful, harmonious place that we've been talking about, this place within us. Paradise isn't outward. Paradise is only outward when we are balanced and harmonized within us. We have to find the paradise within us. If we're having a shitty time inside of our body, if we don't have harmony, if we're looking for the stillness, freedom, and just joy that paradise brings, if we're looking for that inward, it doesn't matter where we are on the outside world. It'll never be enough. It will never be sweet enough. So look for that paradise inward. Look to the herbs that I mentioned on today's podcast, or you could even just go to my website and in the search bar type Libra, and it will list all the herbs that are going to be best for you and herbal formulas. Okay, y'all, with a ton of gratitude to you for listening today and trusting me with your time and energy, I bid you adieu. If you are a past client, please take a moment to leave a Google review of your experience working with me. I love getting follow-up emails and texts, and they're amazing. And I'd love to see people start to embrace the power in their words and sharing their own stories on Google reviews as well. So don't be shy, y'all. And I will see you next week with Scorpio. My witchling's a Scorpio, so I might have to tread lightly because y'all take it real personal. All right, y'all. Bye.